nation of Yahweh were targeted for destruction by the federal government. The United States government has a history of incarcerating innocent black leaders. It is almost a badge of honor for a black man to go to jail in this country. There is an actual pattern of human rights leaders, civil rights leaders, and community leaders being falsely accused and wrongfully imprisoned by the federal government. Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King Jr., and Reverend Jim Chavis are all innocent men who have gone to jail. South Africa and India have also jailed innocent leaders, which is why Nelson Mandela and Mahatma Gandhi went to jail. History has shown that because a man is accused does not mean he is guilty. Because a man is convicted does not mean he is guilty. Jesus is a case in point. Jesus was accused of being a malefactor, which is a liar, a murderer, a robber, and a thief. Historically, whenever a person of color becomes too powerful in this country, the government finds a way to take him down. Recently uncovered documents from former FBI officers show that the Bureau has been engaged in an overt program to expose, disrupt, and discredit or otherwise neutralize black leaders and organizations in this country.
25 years ago, the only blacks allowed on Miami Beach were servants and gardeners who had special passes. Now Yahweh Ben Yahweh owns part of that beach, and that in Miami means money and power.
Yahweh Ben Yahweh had done certain things that made him a target. That he was a black man and he was getting political power. His race, combined with his growing economic and political base, made him a prime target. That alone put him under scrutiny.
It is clear that Yahweh Ben Yahweh was set up by the American government. The only conspiracy going on was the conspiracy of the government to destroy Yahweh Ben Yahweh and the nation of Yahweh. Yahweh Ben Yahweh had no motive to commit the murders he's accused of. Why would a man whose followers wielded the power of millions of dollars care about killing people, especially when there were no possible threat to him, many of which were vagrants living on the street? Interestingly enough, Jim Baker of the PTL Club fame, who according to government officials had defrauded hundreds of people, and who was convicted of stealing millions of dollars for his personal use, was not charged by the government with racketeering. This lack of even-handedness in prosecuting blacks and whites is evidence of systemic racism rampant in our federal courts.
Her Cousins, the FBI case agent, had Yahweh Ben Yahweh's temples under scrutiny for, I believe, since about 1982, 1983, according to his testimony in the trial. That it was Herb Cousins' job for the last 10 years to get Yahweh Ben Yahweh.
But it was very clear from the beginning that the aim of the prosecution, or one of its aims, was to put Yahweh Ben Yahweh in jail, to put these other folks in jail kind of incidentally, and just to make things look fair. And equally as important was to stop the financial life of the organization, because by crippling it financially, you can then cripple anyone. And that, I think, was the reality of the situation, to put the nation of the Hebrew Israelites out of business.
On November 7th, 1990, the federal government orchestrated a surprise raid on the nation of Yahweh.
What?
The raid encompassed 5 states, during which time everyone from senior citizens to preschool children found themselves at gunpoint. Both males and females were handcuffed, strip searched, and forced to lay in the streets. There was no resistance. No weapons were found. No drugs were found. In fact, there was nothing illegal found at all. Yahweh Ben Yahweh and 16 of his followers were arrested and held without bond pending trial. And quite frankly, if you believe the presumption of innocence, and that is...
Shalom Aleichem, family, which is peace be unto you in our holy Hebrew tongue. I want to give all praises to our Father, the Creator, Yahweh. That's Yod He Wav He in our holy Hebrew tongue. Yahweh transliterated into English. And I want to give all praises and honor and glory to His Son, who He spoke to here in these last days to speak to us in the persons of Yahweh ben Yahweh. That's Yod He Wav He. Bet no Sofit Yod He Wav He. And with that being said, this your brother Shem Yahweh ben Yahweh, known as Samuel in the Bible. Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life, and that's what I'm here doing here in these last days, in the person and the spirit of Samuel. You can verify that in 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 15. And with that being said, praise Yahweh. Hallelujah, Yahweh. Hallelujah, Yahweh ben Yahweh. Well, family, we got a very, 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 very special, explosive meeting today here on Yahweh ben Yahweh's Uncovered Truth Broadcasting Network. That's right, Yahweh ben Yahweh's Uncovered Truth. Because they tried to cover the truth up concerning Yahweh ben Yahweh. And we ain't gonna let up. We ain't gonna stop. I know y'all see me, I come and I go, but when y'all don't see me, believe me, we working in the choir. Praise Yahweh. Because see, Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is a strategist. Yahweh is a God of knowledge. And he also sets up and raise up his ministers as a flame of fire. Praise Yahweh. So today we're going to be discussing some very, very interesting facts concerning Yahweh ben Yahweh. And those of you out there who don't know about Yahweh ben Yahweh, let's deal with the ones that heard about Yahweh ben Yahweh. First, those of you who know about Yahweh ben Yahweh and heard about Yahweh ben Yahweh, and you view him in a negative light because of the media and the propaganda, what they put out concerning Yahweh ben Yahweh, what he stood for and what the nation of Yahweh was all about. They tried to make the nation of Yahweh look like it was a cult. See, if you're going to report the story, report the right story. That's why you got to rightly divide the word of truth for 2 Timothy 2:15. Don't come being one-sided. And that's what the media did. They came one-sided with Yahweh ben Yahweh's story and with his message. And a lot of y'all ate it up, hook, line, and sinker, and went back out and spread it out to the masses. And you regurgitated everything that you saw on Google. When you Google up Yahweh ben Yahweh, you know they don't want nothing positive said concerning him. Because the whole objective and the whole aim is to keep you away from him. And there's a reason behind that. And today we're going to get into all that. So today I named this message, it's titled, The Birth of a Nation. The Plot to Destroy the Nation of Yahweh. AKA Yahweh ben Yahweh, the children of Israel. Because see, that's what the nation of Yahweh is. A lot of y'all get caught up, but you're missing the whole point. Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he had a nation. That's right, he had a nation. And the nation that belongs to him was the Israelites, the children of Israel. We are his descendants. We are the apple of his eye. And we were a lost people, unclaimed, unidentified. But the book say one will come who will be raised up from among our brethren, who will come with the name Yahweh, and to him you shall listen to. But, like the book say, Israel is stiff-necked, hard-hearted, and stubborn. They don't know their maker. They don't know their prophets. They don't know the one who Yahweh sent to speak to them here in these last days. So we're gonna be breaking down some very, very, very powerful documents that you guys out there need to know about. Because especially you who know about Yahweh ben Yahweh and you went out there and spreaded lies and repeated the propaganda, especially you Hebrew Israelites out there that's supposed to know all these breakdowns and scriptures, but you fail to recognize the one that has been raised up to come. Because you so in love with your bishops, your deacons, your elders, and your leaders, and they taught you to reject Yahweh ben Yahweh because they rejected Yahweh ben Yahweh at his coming. So of course you're going to reject him today, and you're going to go listen to all the false leaders and shepherds who came after Yahweh ben Yahweh and the ones that came before him. Just like he said, any man come before me, he's a thief, or after me, he's a thief and a robber. And that's what y'all shepherds out there doing today. And for those of you who don't know Yahweh ben Yahweh and have not heard of Yahweh ben Yahweh, or coming into the knowledge of who he is, or you interested at finding out about the nation of Yahweh, you came to the right place. Because here on Yahweh ben Yahweh Uncover Truth, we uncover facts and we report facts and we reveal prophecies concerning Yahweh ben Yahweh here on this channel. So if you looking to hear anything else, this channel ain't for you, because we go by the volume of the book, the one that was supposed to come. See that name right there on the top of his turban? YHWH, that's the name written on the forehead. That was another sign. That was another symbol. That was another token. You ain't never seen another man appear in the hells of North America in the attire that Yahweh ben Yahweh had with the name written on the forehead, as the revelations say. So today we're going to get into this, brothers and sisters. I hope we can be very transparent and open up your minds concerning this truth that has been hidden. And the book say there is nothing hidden that won't be uncovered. And there ain't nothing hid in the dark that won't be brought to the light. Praise Yahweh. And for all those of you who out there want somebody to keep quoting scriptures and all that, if you don't know the Bible, you just don't know the Bible, because I ain't got time to be belaboring the point. Every word we utter, it comes from the Bible. It's dealing with the Bible. See, this that Yahweh ben Yahweh taught that they wanted the silence. Yes. Praise Yahweh. So we're going to get into a few videos today, and then we got a lot of reading to do. So sit back, because this is going to be a real great lesson. Let's get into this video. Start this thing off.
Restrictions on Yahweh ben Yahweh. Not being permitted to associate and communicate with those who are black Hebrew Israelites.
That's right.
Significantly infringes upon Yahweh ben Yahweh's right to minister, to worship, and to freely assemble as guaranteed under the First Amendment. If the United States Parole Commission executes this mandate, it will erode the constitutional rights of all Americans, regardless of race, creed, or color. More of your constitutional rights shall be taken away.
That's right.
If we do not contest the action,
and that's what
United
we
States Parole
going through. What
Commission
we going
has
through now.
taken against this one man, Yahweh ben Yahweh.
Let's start right there for a minute. See, and Yahweh ben Yahweh Day, when this was going on, y'all didn't stand up and rise up in the aid of Yahweh ben Yahweh like y'all was supposed to. That's why he said, when the enemy come for me this time, what are you going to do? Kill me? Let him have me? See? And that's the point I'm trying to make today, brothers and sisters. As you can see what's happening over there in the South, in South Africa, in Burkina Faso, with Ibrahim Traore, if I believe I quoted it right. But you see how they rallying and they recognize a leader. I praise Yahweh because I try the spirit by the spirit, and I know who is up. He said, be of good courage. That's a fearless spirit. That's the spirit of David. And that's the type of spirit we're supposed to have here in these last days. But y'all scared. You were scared then, you still scared. Because us as a nation, you would think we would rise up as a nation and stick together as a people. But as long as you got implants, as long as you got people who sold out, as long as you got people who take bribes, it'll never happen. And taking the bag, a lot of you camps out there, you took the bag. See, Yahweh ben Yahweh ain't take the bag. See? That's why he said he is the first begotten of the dead. Think about that. Why do he make that statement? Because he is the first to be begotten by a government. See, they created all these charges and trumped them up on him. Go look and see when the RICO law was created. They made these laws just for the son of Yahweh for when he come into power. So they can use these laws to bound him, as it was 1900 years ago. But see, you fell asleep concerning these prophecies, concerning these events that will happen in our lifetime. See, if you don't stand up and contest what happened to Yahweh ben Yahweh, you could be the next leader that they come up against using this one little law which violates your First Amendment. Now, these are signs to the Hebrew Israelites that what y'all out there doing, Yahweh ben Yahweh did it first. Yes, Yahweh ben Yahweh did it first. Yahweh ben Yahweh came and created a nation. Did you hear what I just said? He came and established the nation of Yahweh, for all Hebrew Israelites, for all men, but mainly for the sole purpose to gather the Israelites as a nation. I don't think that sank down in your head. The nation of Yahweh was recognized by the United States of America, the government, as a bona fide religious establishment, as a nation, as a government, as a sovereign entity, as it is this day. For citizenship, for the citizens of the nation of Yahweh. Did you hear what I say? To be a citizen of the nation of Yahweh. Some of y'all are citizens of America. But to be citizens of Israel, Israelites, with a common ancestry, that's what Yahweh ben Yahweh came and established for us. Same thing with a nation, all nations have their sovereign power. That's what they did. And the government violated and disrespected that declaration and those constitutional rights that we have as a people to establish our nation and to establish ourselves. So, with that being said, let me let this video continue on.
When you look at the plague on America, when you look at the drought on America, when you look at the forest burning in America, when you look at the destruction of the economy of America, it is as she takes a thought. It's as the wicked men sitting in high places just sit down together to seek how to destroy my work and to destroy the work that Yahweh is doing here as the only salvation in America. This is the cause of the plague. This is the cause of the drought. And if you don't believe it, just keep on messing with me and you'll find out that Yahweh is God and controls nature.
Sisters, we kind of present facts to you today because we got the evidence. We can furnish the evidence. You see what I'm saying? I told you now this gonna be tight, but it's gonna be right. Nobody dare bear to touch on these topics. See, many are called, few are few will choose.
Let me stop right there. Once again, brothers and sisters, as it said earlier, before the video first came on, when the video first came on, that Yahweh ben Yahweh was ordered not to have any contact with any of the Hebrew Israelites. He was not to communicate. This is what it means to be cut off. Can y'all believe that? This is what it means to be cut off from among your people. So Yahweh ben Yahweh needed some witnesses. That's what the Bible is all about. Keep my laws, my statutes, commandments, and my testimonies. We carry the testimonies of Yahweh. Well, his witnesses, the witnesses of Yahweh, they saw Yahweh's witness, his faithful witness, who was Yahweh ben Yahweh, come in the flesh and was persecuted, just like the book say. Now, if y'all Hebrew Israelites out there can't see what happened to Yahweh ben Yahweh, you are a dead Jacob, and you ain't hitting on. You still have a whole lot to learn. Y'all help fulfill the scriptures. Y'all help Yahweh ben Yahweh be who he say he is. Especially for your hatred and your rejection of him, Judah. Well, look at the word witness up here. Because he said, ye are my witnesses. And I told you, I made this little clip that you saw. That's on one of my videos. That's from, I made that in 2010. What you see here. And it makes plenty sense today. See, this story ain't just start today. This is a story from the present, from the past, which will be a story told in the future by his witnesses. And a witness is one who has seen or heard something, one who furnishes evidence. That's what I'm here doing today. That's what I'm here doing, presenting to you today. It's like I'm picking up where I left off at. You can go back and watch the old videos. I was a babe. Yahweh was raising me up at that time. He was showing me all this information, and I didn't know how to process it at the time. So he pulled me away from the internet, that gap you saw, and I've been studying and processing this information. Yes, it's a process. It has to grow and germinate inside your mind. That's the leaven. Until we all raised up. One who furnishes evidence. Now we finna furnish evidence to you. We finna show you who Yahweh ben Yahweh is and what his purpose and his mission was and what he did that they do not want you to come to understand and know. That he came and gave birth to us, the Hebrew Israelites. Now, you could say, well, he didn't give birth to me. I ain't find out about God, or we was Israelites through him. Well, it took him and his spirit to come. And a lot of y'all, see, I ain't going to deny that a lot of these Hebrew Israelites that's out there on the corner, because they out there pushing this truth, a lot of our brothers and sisters have woken up. That is true. But where did that seed come from? That germinated. That seed came from Yahweh ben Yahweh. And I know y'all got y'all elders out there who you think taught y'all and gave y'all breakdowns. And I ain't saying everything y'all teaching out there, y'all, is from Yahweh ben Yahweh. Let's not get that twisted. Because the way some of y'all act out there, you couldn't be following Yahweh ben Yahweh. Yahweh ben Yahweh is a teacher of morality and ethics. And a lot of y'all don't show and prove to have any ethics or morals out there. Especially the way you cuss and carry on yourself and how you so divided as camps and arguing with each other, all this foolishness that I've been watching going on. That's why I'm here as a judge. See, a lot of y'all who out there, Yahweh didn't call y'all. He ain't call y'all to go do nothing. You just went out there and got on the corner because it make the numbers look good. That's all. It make the numbers look good for y'all to be deep in camp. But I'd rather have 2 people that got the knowledge than to have 100 men with me and still don't understand what's going on. So today, Yahweh raising up his witnesses and calling forth for his witnesses. Y'all ain't got to be scared. Y'all scared out there. This information been hidden for some reason. And when it is talked about, it's talked about with such hatred and a spin and an agenda to the message that y'all give concerning Yahweh ben Yahweh. So a witness is one who has seen or heard something. See, if y'all ain't seen or heard anything about Yahweh ben Yahweh, how could you even say anything concerning Yahweh ben Yahweh? The Bible say, bear not false witness. One who furnishes evidence. See, we could furnish the evidence. See, and they had a lack of evidence to prove Yahweh ben Yahweh guilty on the state level. He was found not guilty for a lack of evidence to prove that he did anything or his fathers did anything. They threw it out on the state level. But because they like to play games, and this is where the prophecy kicks in, they went over there and tried him in another court and put the RICO on him. Well, if you look at the word Jericho, you'll see the word RICO in the word Jericho. See? And they put the RICO Act on Yahweh ben Yahweh, and it's through this Jericho, through this RICO Act, because they persecuted Yahweh ben Yahweh, we able to tell this story that we're going to march around 7 times and bring down this lie. You see the metaphor? In Jericho. This is the Jericho operation. Operation Jericho, they called it. The federal Operation Jericho. So a witness is somebody that's seen something. Anything that serves as evidence. We got a lot of stuff to serve as evidence for what they did to Yahweh ben Yahweh and concerning his proclamation and declaration as the Son Yahweh and the Lion of the tribe of Judah. One who is called upon to testify before a court. That's what a witness is. One who is called upon to testify before a court. One who is called upon to be present at a transaction in order to attest to what takes place. One who signs his name to a document for the purpose of attesting to its authenticity. So basically, if you ain't seen nothing, that's right. If you don't know that, you can't say that. You can't say nothing because you ain't a witness. Now, you have to look at what's real important in this word definition called witness, because Yahweh ben Yahweh is our faithful witness, the one who came to raise up the Hebrew Israelites here in the hells of North America and was judicially murdered by this government. Now these are facts. This don't have to. This have nothing to do with your emotions. See, this information was hidden from the world, and now it's time for you to witness what happened to the one who claimed to be the Son of God, a manifestation of Yahweh in the flesh, in your face, persecuted, cut off from among his disciples, raising the dead, feeding the hungry, ministering to the poor. He created a economical structure for the nation. food for the nation, clothing for the nation. Ain't that's what the book say the son of Yahweh gonna come do? Oh, you reading the book 1900 years ago. See, we are Yahweh's witnesses. We talking about Yahweh, our Father God. We are his witnesses that he did send his son from among us in the flesh. You don't believe what you're reading? Well, show me another one. Yahweh ben Yahweh is the theophany of Yahweh, the incarnated one. When you look down here on line C, where it says, one who signs his name to a document for the purpose of attesting to its authenticity. See, Yahweh ben Yahweh name is on those documents in the federal courts. You can look Yahweh ben Yahweh name up. It's there as the son. They don't call him Hulon Mitchell. They say Yahweh ben Yahweh versus the United States. Yahweh ben Yahweh versus Miami-Dade County, a.k.a. Hulon Mitchell, a.k.a. Hulon Mitchell. I thought it should have been Hulon Mitchell, a.k.a. Yahweh ben Yahweh. But no, they know what time it is, brother. And it's time for you to know and understand and comprehend what time it is. So Yahweh ben Yahweh name is signed on this document. He is the witness. He is the judge. They pass judgment on Yahweh ben Yahweh. And that's why previously it said, Yahweh ben Yahweh said, when you look at the plagues on America, when you look at the drought on America, when you look at all the forests burning on America, it is that you take thought. Because it was the men that was sitting down in high places that sat down together to seek how to destroy his work. And now what you're seeing is the cause of the plagues. It's the cause of the drought. And he said, if you keep on messing with me, you're going to find out that Yahweh is God and controls nature. And we are his witnesses. He said it. Since he said that the weather pattern has been just tearing this place up as prophesied by Yahweh ben Yahweh. Go look up Yahweh ben Yahweh. Go just look. That's why you on Yahweh ben Yahweh Uncovered Truth. Because they don't want to uncover his truth. See? And it's because of this truth we set free. See, the man 1900 years ago spoke all about this day. We don't deny Yahshua. I know I don't. That's not the issue. We do deny that JC fella, Caesar Borgia fella that y'all created. We do reject that. And seeing y'all done created all these images too. Yes, y'all did. I don't care if you Hebrew Israelites over there, you created an image too. Y'all got different images of what y'all say the Messiah. All you can say, oh, this is what he looked like. He was a black man. He got green suits on and all this. They say the son of Yahweh gonna have on white. Dressed in all white. See, y'all ain't telling the story right. See, it'll make a lot of sense if y'all just carry out this same message, one message. The same message that was spoken 1900 years ago. Today, the Son of Yahweh here in the flesh, doing what the book said he was going to do. I don't see how y'all can wake up and rise up without the one whose job it was to come raise you up. We should be going righteously hysterical out there because of what they have done to the one who came and established the nation. You see what they doing over there in Burkina Faso? Yeah, they are witnesses to the one who came to liberate them. So Yahweh ben Yahweh name is signed on these documents, brothers and sisters. We're going to continue on because we got a lot to cover. We got a lot to cover. I think we're going to make this out of a series. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's continue on.
You see? But see, like I say, that's why I had to go to the definition of witness. Because we are his witnesses. We got the proof. And after the day, I guarantee this shock your mind. If it don't, you must be dead. That's what you call a dead Jacob. You see? Let this penetrate down in your ears, brothers and sisters. This evidence that be presented to you today. And we only just gonna touch and present a little evidence.
Let's get into this thing. We got a lot to cover. Y'all see what it says on the top of the screen. Operation Word War. Now we about to reveal and uncover some very powerful documents that has been hidden away from you guys that you need to know about. It's time for you to know about. You should want to know. Because see, you can't claim to be a witness. You can't claim to make an accusation against a man and you can't back up the statements that you're making concerning him. Because see, all y'all do out there is repeat and regurgitate back what the media have said. But what I'm about to show you and read to you today, the media ain't covering this. It has been covered up. That's why you hear on Yahweh ben Yahweh's Uncovered Truth, because you want to know the truth concerning what happened to Yahweh ben Yahweh. And today I'm finna give it to you. I waited a long time for this information. Since my awakening, I've been trying to find out these facts, and Yahweh ben Yahweh said, study the case. Yahweh ben Yahweh said, I don't approve of you following me if you ain't studied and learned. Because we have to be able to show proof as expert witnesses. Look that word up in the Law's Black Dictionary. As expert witnesses concerning this issue. This is a very, very, very important issue. This is a judicial issue, as a matter of fact. And that's why I'm here today, to uncover and show you these facts, so you can have a fair chance, without a shadow of a doubt, to make a statement concerning Yahweh ben Yahweh or not. Because see, the ones that's making these false allegations concerning him, oh, that man a killer, that man this and that man, we all should know by now that we've been dealing with fake news. And that's what this Operation Word War is all about. Look at the screen. Fake news was not invented this year. Fake news was not invented this decade. Fake news did not even start in this century. The Megiddo report is the fake news of the 80s and 90s, which makes Operation Word War, like all great chronicles, true. This fully documented and annotated story is about a ruthless, vicious, and jealous federal government, and how that government would not allow a black man to raise up his fellow black Americans from poverty to riches. This man, Yahweh ben Yahweh, could not be allowed to succeed, for America is a sacred government, and for some reason, only it can help you. Therefore, for showing people that they did not have to be slaves to the system, Yahweh ben Yahweh was crucified and killed. The documents linked to this page, blah, 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 blah. We're going to skip that. And we're going to go into this document. Because see, Yahweh ben Yahweh is documented. That's what we're telling the world. This man was documented in the books, in the records, the files. They can't erase it. Only thing they can do is suppress the information and try to control the narrative. But praise Yahweh for his witnesses. So we finna go to the document. The war in heaven, the unwarranted and unprecedented attack on the nation of Yahweh by the U.S. Justice Department in its Project Megiddo's report. Now, brothers and sisters, y'all about to find out and see and witness for yourself what was really going on with Yahweh ben Yahweh and the nation of Yahweh, and why the nation of Yahweh was and is a threat to the government. First of all, it says in the book of Daniel, I believe 2:44, that Yahweh will raise up a kingdom that will subdue. He gonna establish his kingdom here on the earth. That's a government. A kingdom consists of a king that runs a government, a sovereign government. And that's what Yahweh ben Yahweh came and did. He came as a sovereign king. That's right. So when he comes as the king, as the son of Yahweh, you think he's coming with friendly encounters? You think he's coming to be welcomed? You think they're going to welcome them in their kingdom? Did they did 1900 years ago when in the Roman Empire? No. Did Herod want to accept the man 1900 years ago? No. He wanted them dead. He wanted them out the way. Well, we finna unloose these seals right now, brothers and sisters. Let us read. Sit back and let us read. This article deals with how and why warlike strategies have been employed against the nation of Yahweh to foster and incite hatred and violence against it and all of its citizens and followers. The nation of Yahweh consists of a sovereign Hebrew Israelite people who share common customs, origins, histories, cultures, language, and religious beliefs based on the commandments, judgments, laws, and statutes of God Yud-Heh-Wah-Veh Yahweh as taught by his son Yud-Heh-Wah-Veh Bet Nosofit Yud-Heh-Wah-Veh Yahweh ben Yahweh. The hostile assault upon the nation of Yahweh was initiated by words of war, currently found in the Project Megiddo. The report was first issued by the Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, in October 1999 for the supposed purpose of assessing possible acts of domestic terrorism that might be sparked by the turn of the new millennium. Let us stop right there for a minute, because we're going to be breaking this down piece by piece. See, this article deals with how and why warlike strategies have been employed against the nation of Yahweh. Think about that. They have strategized how to bring down the nation of Yahweh. They used a strategy. One of the strategies was they used a Judas as their key witness to try to bring down the nation of Yahweh. Notice I said try to bring down the nation of Yahweh, because it still exists, brothers and sisters. See, you can't undo what has already been done. You can't undo what has already been done. See, when he established the nation, that's just like the colonel at Popeyes or the general at KFC, the colonel. He established a KFC. That first original KFC that he established. And now you have chains of them all around the world. But he's not here. He's not present. See, the colonel KFC, he don't have to be present in order for his establishments to continue. And that's what I want to show and prove to you today. And Yahweh ben Yahweh already knew that. That's why he said it's expedient for me that I go back to the Father now. That's right. Because other things have to take place. See, he finished the work that Yahweh sent him to do. Read it. It's in the book. So, these warlike strategies through the media, through the government, through politics, through your own people, other Hebrew Israelites and elders, has been employed against the nation of Yahweh to foster and incite hatred and violence against it and all of its citizens. And that's what y'all witness today. That's why when you go on YouTube, brothers and sisters, you see all of these things that I'm reading about right now, the hatred that's towards the nation of Yahweh. These Israelites, Hebrew Israelites. See, the people that consist of the nation of Yahweh are Hebrew Israelites. Imagine that. But you got other Hebrew Israelites who started camps and groups, who saw the works and the prosperous works of Yahweh ben Yahweh. They saw that. So, being that they saw that, they went and started other Hebrew Israelite groups and camps. But Yahweh ben Yahweh is and was at the top of the list of this Hebrew Israelite group. Why? Because Yahweh ben Yahweh created a nation. A nation that still exists. And a lot of y'all Hebrew Israelites out there, I'm going to give you a prime example. This one's for you, Bishop Nathaniel. You came into the knowledge in 1990. Y'all go ask Bishop Nathaniel when he woke up as a Hebrew Israelite. It wasn't that long ago. It was in the 1990s. I remember. It was in the 1990s. He said it. Go watch one of his videos. He said it. He woke up in 1990. He was a Christian, and the Christian, studying Christian, and he was gonna become a Muslim, studying the Muslim faith, but he realized that they were bowing down and praying to the rock and the cobblestone and all of that stuff. So he knew that was idolatry. And one day he met, my brother gave him a pamphlet out there, and he started going to Hebrew Israelite classes. To say all that is to say this, that 1990, this when they was indicting Yahweh ben Yahweh. What you was doing prior before that? You ain't know nothing. Yahweh ben Yahweh was already out here building. And this why I say that Yahweh ben Yahweh was first. Before you even thought about a camp, Yahweh ben Yahweh was. Any of you camps out there, before y'all even thought about camps or doing anything, Yahweh ben Yahweh was. He just did it in a better way. A moral way. See? He knew what it take to get the job done. That's why he was able to mass over a $250 million empire with a nation. With a huge following. In over 16 cities in America. 1,600 cities out. My bad. and over there across the world, other countries. So, Yahweh ben Yahweh was before any other Hebrew Israelite group movement to get this much attention and noticed by the press to get this reaction that he has gotten. And now it's time for you to understand why they don't like Yahweh ben Yahweh. This is why. This is why they have to bring down the nation of Yahweh, bring down Yahweh ben Yahweh, hoping that the nation of Yahweh and his works would disappear and diminish. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, it's gaining more strength than you think. And remember, Yahweh ben Yahweh said everybody don't put on white, but you will want to put on some white now. Because that was the son's job, was to put us back in our holy white garments. Our garments also represents our righteousness. That's right. But on the physical plane, we supposed to put them right white robes on. It symbolizes our victory. It symbolizes us following the Lamb. That's right, brothers and sisters. That's why you see him dressed the way that he dressed. He came to put us back in our culture. Praise Yahweh. Now you have seen Yahweh, a lot of y'all that know and follow Yahweh ben Yahweh, you have seen him in other attire. You might say, dang, Yahweh ben Yahweh had that on? See, before he had put on white, before he was crowned, he had his sackcloth on. He had different colored turbans on. You understand? And you couldn't recognize him. He was sitting right there in your face. But see, the book say, try the spirit by the spirit, and you'll know who he's of. Some of y'all ain't got the right spirit, so you can't try it and line it up. You don't know what his spirit is like, because you got too much hate in your heart for your brother. I don't see how y'all can acknowledge and notice y'all acknowledge and notice all the ill that's done to everybody else, celebrities and everybody else. You speak on it. And some of it be with support. But when it come to Yahweh ben Yahweh, for some reason, y'all cannot get off y'all mouth that this man is a killer. This man is a murderer. Him and his followers this. We done heard it all. Some of y'all say y'all Baal worshipers. Oh, they worship and follow Baal. That's totally false. We worship the Creator, Yahweh, Yod He Wave, those 4 character letters, YHWH. That's who Yahweh ben Yahweh taught us to worship and praise. He turned us back to the knowledge of Yahweh. That's right. That's our leader. That's our king. You hearing it out my mouth. See? Because y'all can't comprehend his message, y'all change it and tarnish it to fit your agenda. We don't have an agenda. See, we just bring facts and proof on what's really going on. Y'all can't, the only thing the naysayers can say is that man a murderer, that man a killer, that man got y'all brainwashed. But you ain't looking at these facts. All that smoke screen, you're not dealing with the facts. I'm reading you facts today and why they wanted to bring down the nation of Yahweh. See, they ain't bothering y'all. They ain't bothering y'all. But y'all ain't excluded. Because the book said the servant is not greater than the master. Y'all ain't greater than Yahweh ben Yahweh. This is what Yahshua was saying. He was giving y'all a sign 1900 years ago. When Yahweh ben Yahweh come, y'all ain't gonna be greater than him now. Because if they persecuted him, they'll persecute you likewise. If they call him a hate coat, they're gonna call your Hebrew Israelite camp a hate coat also. And that's what they're beginning to do. They done lumped everybody up on this list who claim to be descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Imagine that. Because we coming back into our culture, they want to claim that we are in the cult. We are. We back in our culture. Descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And what's the problem? Why you neglecting our right to exercise our First Amendment. So I'm gonna continue on with this article because I got so much to say, and I really want to slow it down a little bit so I can regurgitate this message as well as I can. Praise Yahweh. Articulate his message. How about that? That's a good word, brother. So, these strategies are employed against the nation of Yahweh to foster and incite hatred and violence against it and all of its citizens and followers. See, the nation of Yahweh consists of what? A sovereign Hebrew Israelite people who share common customs, origins, history, culture. See, go to the word culture. Look at the word culture. What's the first 4 letters to the word culture? Look at those first 4 letters. You're going to see the word cult. Ain't that's what they say this is? We in a cult. Well, that we back in our culture, the Hebrew Israelites. We have a language. We have our own religious beliefs. They're not religious beliefs. These just our way of life. Upon the commandments, judgment, laws, and statutes of Yahweh. That's our constitution. That's our Declaration of Independence. Our Bill of Rights are in that constitution that was written to the Hebrew Israelites. That's right. See, we have our own nation. That's why we had to be delivered from Pharaoh, because Pharaoh represents a system and a tyrannical government. That's right. That's what it represents. And that's what this government represents. It is parallel to Egypt. We had to be in bondage. Our ancestors, forefathers had to be in bondage to the Egyptians back then. Now today we are still in that same bondage to the spiritual Egypt here in America. So being that we back in our Yahweh ben Yahweh came to put us, he built us, created the nation, formed us, shaped us as a nation, brought us back into our customs, our origins, gave us our history, taught us that Hebrew is our language, the language of Yahweh, and taught us the commandments, the judgments, and the laws of Yahweh. That's what makes up our nation. That's our foundation. The hostile assault upon the nation of Yahweh was initiated by words of war, currently found by the Project Megiddo report. The report was first issued by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in October 1999 for the supposed purpose of assessing possible acts of domestic terrorism that might be sparked by the turn of the new millennium. Stop right there. So these people put out a report. These agencies put out a report to the investigation of Beirut, the FBI. They reported the nation of Yahweh in 1999 and told the FBI that it was going to be that the nation of Yahweh was plotting to do domestic terrorist attacks by the new millennium, by the year 2000. That's what the millennium is. Now notice how the book say y'all gonna reign the 1,000-year reign with Christ. See? What's that? 1,000 milli in Greek or Latin is milli. 1,000. So in the new millennium, that marked the marking period according to their calendar as 1,000 year, because it went into the year of 2000. See, so they had to come get him before the ending period of a millennium. And we are in the 21st century. So the third day represents the third millennium. And that's where we are now in the third millennium, where we will wake up and reign with the spirit of Hamashiach. And that's what they was afraid of. This ain't got nothing to do with no terrorist attack or nobody attacking, because that never happened. So let's get that straight. Whoever reported this false information, which we are going to get into, reported to the FBI false facts, false allegations, I would say. There's nothing happened. It was no terror attack. Nothing that they claimed was going to happen happened. So it says national criticism and clamor about Project Megiddo's reliability and relevance only partly because in January the 1st, 2000 was ushered in without any signs of domestic terrorism may result in a congressional hearing in the future. And that's where we at. We need a congressional hearing. That's right. I'm Shem Yahweh Ben Yahweh the judge, and we need a congressional hearing concerning this. Now I'm talking to you, Mr. Trump. Can we get a congressional hearing concerning this Project Megiddo's report? Because there was a false claim that we were going to rise up and do domestic terrorists against this country, and it never happened. It's not going to happen because we were not instructed to do such a wicked thing. So yes, it's in need of a congressional hearing because nothing never happened. However, the publication's real purpose must be exposed today, and that's what we're doing right here. We're exposing the publication's real purpose of why they put that in the paper. The real purpose for including the nation of Yahweh in a report outlining possible terrorist acts was to discredit Yahweh Ben Yahweh and the nation of Yahweh. Stop right there. Did y'all hear what I said? See, this what was going on with the birth of a nation. Yahweh Ben Yahweh come to give birth of a nation, birth to the nation, birth to the Israelites, come to put you back in your history, culture, language, land, and origin. And he was discredited. So the nation of Yahweh in a report outlining possible terrorist acts was to discredit Yahweh Ben Yahweh and the nation of Yahweh. The authors and the contributors to Project Megiddo knowingly used wild speculations, false accusations, and misleading information to build up a hateful reaction in the minds of the American people against Yahweh Ben Yahweh and the nation of Yahweh. They used deliberate and suggestive buzzwords, verbiage to reprehensible depict us as racist, religious fanatics, and domestic terrorists. Such fallacious portrayals make the nation of Yahweh a victim of egregious hate crimes. We consider this a declaration of war against us. Stop right there. Praise Yahweh. We consider this a war against us, brothers and sisters. What is the war all about? It's the war with words. Because y'all think a war got to be with bullets and guns. But no, it's ways to war without using any weapons. Remember, life and death is on the tip of the tongue. So this war is more of a war with words that broke out in heaven. What's the word war? We say we the Hebrew Israelites. We say we God's chosen people. We say we the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We say Israel is our land. That's where the war began. See, the war is a controversy, and that's where the war began because this other group over here say we're a hate group. This other group say we're a cult. That's not who we claim to be. So, with that being said, it's time for the people to wake up. Now, that's a lot going on in the world right now, and our God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh, he is opening up these doors and bringing about these conversations that deal with who we are. And it's starting to show the real hatred that this government have for the people of God. When we begin to reveal ourselves and come back into our nature, our history, culture, language, and land, and as he begins to restore us, they don't like that. They want us to remain in slavery, to remain ignorant, to remain without a status, to remain black, that come with no status, that come with no recognition. See, when Yahweh ben Yahweh came and declared who we were, told us to change our names, that was him redeeming us back from this system, this government, and he created a government, a sovereign government, for us to come and have our sovereignty in, to be free, to not be bound to another nation. It's deeper than what y'all think, brothers and sisters. Y'all need to study. Yes, y'all need to study. The nation of Yahweh, a victim. We are the victim. Y'all want to go out here and create some victims and act like these people were victims of some killings and crimes, when we know that how they fabricate fake news, especially against our leaders, the ones that's risen up to liberate us, the ones that come to empower us. Now, we had a lot of Uncle Toms and a lot of snakes out there in Yahweh ben Yahweh's day, and they still hanging around, claim to be with Yahweh ben Yahweh, but as far away from him as they can. Never mention his name again, never do nothing concerning him, period. They just written it off and want to sweep it up under the rug. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not going to happen. And I'm going to be calling all of you out. I'm just going down the list right now. I don't know if y'all don't know who what's her name? Jaguar is. Jaguar Wright, I believe her name is. The one that's spilling the beans like Cat Williams. Yeah, we got a long list and nobody is getting away. That's right, I said it. I don't care if you in the nation or not. That's right. Y'all stick around because y'all think y'all comfortable. Oh yeah, go talk about. Is you still gonna be liking this show when I get down on you? Is you still gonna want to come to Yahweh ben Yahweh's Uncovered Truth when Yahweh ben Yahweh pull your coat? Well, he gonna do it, and he raised me up to do it fearlessly. See, that's the difference about the man child and the ones Yahweh raising up. We ain't a part of what y'all did. Y'all did that. Y'all turned y'all back on Yahweh ben Yahweh in the 80s. Yes, y'all did. But see, y'all still have a chance to come forward because y'all didn't think people like I myself would wake up and find this information out. That's right. Y'all ain't never think that. Y'all thought it was done. And by the way, Yahweh ben Yahweh want to know what happened to all that money that he accumulated for the nation. I ain't going to go into that right now, but I'm just kind of putting it in your mind what things going to go, because he raised me up as the judge to bring forth these conversations and to reform and reconstruct everything. Hey, it is what it is. So I'm finna be getting out of here. It's way more to this document, but we're gonna close it off right here and we're gonna do another part to this video. I hope y'all enjoyed the little bit of information I brought forth to y'all so far, but just stick around because it's gonna get better. Trust me, it always do. Praise Yahweh. Praise Yahweh ben Yahweh, the nation of Yahweh, and the tribe of Yehuda.